All right guys, last but certainly not least, this is probably the easiest one for you to burn through all your savings, whatever you got, your budget, however it's going. I see tons of people do it. I did it a little bit myself. Luckily I caught it pretty early. So I'm sure you've heard by now that Thailand is probably one of the, if not the best, travel on a budget destination. But what if I told you that this wasn't the whole truth and nothing but the truth? So yes, for the most part, this is true. Thailand is super cheap and can be one of the easiest budget vacations you'll ever take, but it is also very easy for it to not be very cheap. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I'm down here on Jom Tien Beach, pretty much as per normal around this time. It's golden hour. I love coming down here and taking a little bit of cruise. There's a couple spots down here I really like, so I try to come down here as often as possible to check out, you know, what's going on, what's the vibe. But today I'm gonna break down 5 things for you that will just burn through your entire wallet if you're not careful while you're in Thailand. Without further ado, let's get into it. So first things first, one thing that I really see a lot of people spend way more money than they really need to or they should be, that's myself included when I first got here, is accommodation. Sites like Airbnb and Agoda, places like that, can make it really easy for ease of booking, but you might show up and realize you're not really getting what you paid for. So I always suggest that you should show up, book a place for like a week before you get here, show up, look around a little bit, and the in-person prices 9 times out of 10 are gonna be a lot cheaper than if you booked it online. And you're gonna have a better idea of what the place actually looks like, what part of town it's in, if you're gonna actually enjoy staying there. So that'll help you out and it'll save you some money. Now another easy one if you're not paying attention is gonna be food. If you're planning on coming to Thailand, I'm sure you've heard nothing but great things about the food. And yes, 9 times out of 10, Thai food is gonna be very cheap. But it all depends on what part of town you're in. If you're in a place that's more catered toward tourists, you're gonna pay a little bit more, even for Thai food. And the big thing is if you're really looking for some comfort food, some Western food, stuff from home, if you're, you know, your stomach's a little upset when you first get here, which it probably will be ready for that. That's gonna run you more. And yes, it's still probably gonna be cheaper than it was wherever you came from, if you came from the West especially, but it is really easy to rack up a bill and really go over your food budget, especially if you're eating mostly Western food. There's a lot of stuff here that's actually cheaper than it is, especially in the States, but there's a lot of things that are actually more expensive too. 2 main ones are gonna be like bread and cheese. Those are both super cheap in the States, but there's not a lot of grazing land in Thailand, not a lot of cows, therefore not a lot of dairy, not a lot of places to grow grain. So some of these things are gonna be at a premium, and especially if you're getting food that's actually imported from your home country, it's obviously gonna be a lot more expensive. If you guys would like to see more and learn more about Thailand and the rest of Southeast Asia, we got a lot more countries on the list. Feel free to go down, smash that subscribe button, go ahead and click like on the video. We actually checked the analytics earlier today and almost 75% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. If there's something I can do personally to change your mind about that, something I can add to the videos, different edits, different ideas, feel free to drop them down in the comments. Constructive criticism is always welcome on Tempus TV. Thank you guys so much. All right guys, next one on the list might come as a bit of a surprise. If you watched enough YouTube videos on Thailand or Southeast Asia in general, you'll know that like fake designer markets and fake watches and things like that are really popular here. But this is something else that can get super expensive if you're not paying attention to it. Obviously, these things are gonna be much cheaper than they are in the States because they're not real. So it seems like you would be able to just get whatever you want and not really have to worry about it. But if this is something that you're interested in, try to stay away from the actual markets. You can go on Lazada, places like that, or if you're doing any other actual traveling, you'll realize Cambodia and Vietnam are actually where a lot of these things come from. So feel free to just hop over there real quick and you'll be able to get it at an even cheaper price. see a lot of people when they come here for the first time, they're doing the same thing, myself included, I did it, is spending a lot more money than they need to on taxis. So if you didn't know, there's a couple apps here that work like Uber or something like that in the States. It's super similar. One's called Grab, one's called Bolt. You can call them and it's a fixed price before you even get picked up. You know exactly how much you're paying. But if you're grabbing a taxi off the street or anything like that, the motorcycle taxis are gonna charge you a lot more than they would if they were on Bolt. And a lot of the times when you get into actual taxis, they're not gonna have meters or anything like that, which essentially is a scam and it's actually illegal. They're not supposed to do that. But when you first get here, you don't really know any better. So you're gonna end up paying a lot more than you actually should. That's one thing that can add up really quick. If you don't have a motorbike or anything like that, you're gonna be taking a lot of taxis. So I recommend the Bolt or Grab app, or just use the bot buses, especially if you're here in Pattaya. All right, guys, last but certainly not least, this is probably the easiest one for you to burn through all your savings, whatever you got, your budget, however it's going. I see tons of people do it. I did it a little bit myself. Luckily, I caught it pretty early, but that's gonna be just going out, your fun budget. Of course, if you're coming to Thailand, you're coming on vacation, you're gonna wanna cut loose a little bit. And yes, everything here is generally cheaper than it probably is in your home country. But that doesn't mean that you can't burn through money super easily, super quickly if you're not paying attention to it. So if you're going out to the bar, you're buying drinks, you're a happy-go-lucky guy, kind of like myself, you want to buy other people drinks, you want to get a bottle, you want to hang out with girls, whatever it is, it can get very, very expensive very quickly. I have one friend here who spent almost 200,000 baht in 1 month because he likes to go party. So if that's something that you're easily sucked into, or it's hard for you to say no because there's a party here every single night, it's not just like Fridays and Saturdays like it is in the States. If you want to go out, there's always somewhere you can go. You can drink at all times of the day. So this is something that you really have to pay attention to. All right, guys, I hope I could provide you a little bit of insight on how you can save some money when you get here. I know you're going to be on vacation and you're like, oh, whatever, it's just money. But a wise man once said, nobody ever got rich by wasting money. Write that down. That's one of the best pieces of advice I ever heard. And it's not like you're being cheap at this point. You're just avoiding getting charged the extra tax. You're gonna pay extra on plenty of stuff anyway just because you're a foreigner. You might as well save a little bit of money where you can so you can spend it on things that you're gonna get a better result from. Like we said earlier, if you guys want to see more from Thailand, feel free to go down, kick that subscribe button right where it counts. Drop a like on the video if you want to support the channel. Best way to do that is to subscribe and share with a friend. And I hope to see you guys soon. I'll catch you later. Peace.